The idea of zero cost ethical marketing course training is pretty simple. Whatever free things available, whatever free softwares on digital, whatever free ways other doctors are generating new patient sales, whatever free things available, we want to use it and generate up to 20-25% more in terms of money, sales, patients coming in, plus 10 to 15% extra free time, along with the 20% more in terms of money. Now, how practically it's done is this online course training is divided into 10 different section modules. These are basically 10 different aspects of running a clinic setup from a marketing sales business angle. So the overall 20% more in terms of money patient sales is not done by just one optimizing just one section module, but across all these free things, across all these 10 section modules, like a full body CT scan, whatever works in your specific case, let's fix it. Whatever loopholes you have in your specific location and case, let's fix it from the sales, marketing, digital, care based follow up, whatever other doctors are doing it differently. Let's know this, try this, and see if we can get it done from the free things. The best part about all the zero cost ethical free things is there is no monetary cost involved. So these are things using all the free things with a proven many cases. There are real success stories and real doctors I have quoted how they are doing the same things differently in the right way, right timing, right frequency, and maintaining the code of ethics, integrity, and a care and positive way. So there is no monetary loss as such. Out of this 10 section modules and 10 different this course is divided into 10 different section modules, which are basically 10 different aspects of running a clinic setup. Out of this 10 section modules, the top 3 section modules are the most important, are the main and the most requirement are the requirements of the most doctors and also most result oriented. These top 3 section modules are zero cost lead generation. So what are free ways by which you can generate lead? Because in order to run a clinic, you need new patients every day, which means you need genuine inquiries and new leads every day. So what are these new ways? There are 19 different lead generation strategies using free things in the right way, right timing, quoting the examples of the other doctors. There is a secret mantra, pros and cons on each of these strategies, and the time management angle. So how does a solopreneur doctor, a small doctor with only an assistant, can manage and optimize time to implement these? 5 follow-up systems. These are all care-based, positive ways of being in touch. So what are the ways? Doctors cannot be salesy and pushy. You have to maintain an ethics and integrity. At the same time, you need to be in touch in positive way, in a care and relationship oriented way. You have to be in touch with your all the patient base, those patients whom you have lost touch last 3 years back, 4 years back, 2 years back. So how you are going to be in touch in a positive way, in a caring way, without being salesy or without being irritating or pushy? There are 5 care-based, ethical, positive ways, which I call the follow-up systems. To be in, basically these are positive ways of being in touch. So how you are going to, which which is an ethical and a relationship oriented way. Everywhere the right timing, right frequency, right wordings have, and the secret mantra why it will work, when it will not work, when you have to do it, when you have to keep it silent. So all these things have already been explained in detail. And the third section module is the digital section. So digital section is also one of the most important requirement of all the doctors. These 3 are the main section modules: digital section, zero cost lead generation, and 5 positive care based follow up systems. These are the top 3 section modules, which are the most result oriented, most required by all the doctor clients, and also the most important of all the 10 section modules. So let me go in each of this section in details, and what are the internal index, what is the contents in it, why this each of these section modules are important, each of these 10. A very important thing that I've taken care of is to maintain a healthy mix between patient to patient, mouth to mouth publicity and digital marketing, because this medical doctor industry is basically a mouth to mouth publicity, patient to patient, word of mouth publicity business, and a care ethics based business. You have to maintain a decorum and integrity of a caring doctor. You cannot be salesy and pushy. What's working in other industries like hotel, restaurant, e-commerce, sites, whatever offer techniques, that you cannot blindly copy paste it in this medical service and care based relationship oriented industry. So I have tried to maintain a healthy if we, so and the at the same time the big trouble is you cannot ignore digital, because all your patients are on digital, all your competitors are on digital, and now they are taking it more actively and seriously. So we have to find out a healthy mix between an optimum balance between both the mouth to mouth care based publicity, patient to patient, and the digital marketing angle, which I have tried to maintain with, along with the maintaining the integrity and and the ethics of this medical noble profession, which I have tried to pursue it across all these, all the zero cost ways, across all the 10 different aspects of running a clinic setup. So let's dive in. The first section module is zero cost lead generation. Now, this is very important section. It's one of the main section module and requirement of most doctors who are starting a new clinic setup, or those doctors who are opening a new branch of their main clinic setup, or restructuring their clinic setup. So, why this is important? In order to run a clinic setup, you need new patients every day. So, which in turn means you need to have new leads every day. Now, practically speaking, most of the Indian doctors, have by and large 4 or 5 key ways of generating new patients. First is word of mouth, referral, whatever. The second is in India is just dial or practo. The third is digital, and fourth is health camps. These are the 4 key ways by which majority of the doctors generate new patients. But the lead generation section focuses on 19 different section lead generation strategies, using all the free ways, quoting the relevant right real example of other doctors, the pros and cons, the right way, right timing, right frequency, and the secret mantra, why this will work, when this will work, what to do and what not to do. So you are aware about all these 19 different ways of generating new leads, new patients, and you can, as per your location area, your specific strength, weaknesses, your competitive reality, as per the location, you can optimize and choose out of these 19 different lead generation as per the practical circumstances across the entire year of the slow, average, good month. You can optimize things to generate more leads. The second, now very important thing is why this lead generation I stress so much on is particularly for uh, there's a concept called revenue direct, which is discussed in reverse engineering section. The concept of revenue direct says uh, the more uh, uh, the more you're self dependent in terms of generating new leads, the less it will hurt in the bad times. Practically speaking, it's like this. As of now, doctors have 4 key source of generating leads: healthcam, referrals, digital, and just dial and practo. Right? Just dial is full of fake leads. The Indian doctors majority. Now, now every time you are spending using digital marketing, any kind of paid marketing, digital or newspaper ads, pamphlets, TV ads, whatever it is, there's money is going out from your pocket. Why you are doing this digital marketing activities to generate new patients, new leads, right? So every year the entire digital is changing very rapidly, which practically means if your main source of leads are coming from just dial, practo, or digital, that means every year you need to pay your money out to these just dial, practo, or digital marketing agencies to generate new patients, to get new leads, because your bread and butter depends that you should get new leads and new patients every day. So it makes practical common sense that the more we are self dependent when it comes to generating our own leads, we will be more better off, and using free things, 19 different free ways, we will be better off generating patients. So the point here is, what because your main source of leads, your bread and butter depends on new leads, and your main source of leads are dependent on just dial, practo, or digital. What if this digital guy is fooling you? What if this just dial and practo all of a sudden change their policies and they say, no, I'm going to charge huge amount of money, cutting down on your commissions, cutting down on your hard work. They started taking more commissions, which actually Practo did 5 7 years back. Now in such a case, you as a doctor is going to be sandwiched, because you need new leads every day, right? So that is where this 19 lead generation strategies helps you to become, using free things. 19 free lead generation strategies helps you to become more and more self dependent in terms of generating new leads, and less dependent on terms of any kind of paid marketing, may it be digital, may it be uh, Practo, Just Dial, may it be any kind of TV ads, newspaper ads, for and avoid and to generate new leads and new patients every day. The second very important section is a follow-up systems, which is basically a positive way of mouth-to-mouth publicity, patient-to-patient, mouth-to-mouth care-based approaches in the follow-up systems. So these are basically five positive ways, a care-based positive ways of being in touch with your existing patient base, old patient base. The first follow-up system, these are five follow-up system, A, B, C, D, E. The first follow-up system A is about reviving the old patient base whom you have lost touch 2.5 years back. Now, the follow-up system B is about a care message which have to be used between fourth day to the seventh day. So it in this all everything depends upon that timing effect, and in this the care message have to go in between the fourth day to the seventh day, inside the first week itself. Else it have lost the timing effect. So and I will explain you all of this thing one at a time. So let me start with the follow-up system A. Why follow-up systems are very important? Positive care-based follow-up systems are very important. So an average doctor, if he does have maintain a simple Excel sheet or a patient management software, if you take it out, they will say I'm practicing from last 5 7 10 years, and my overall patient base is in between say 3,000 to 4,000 4,500 overall patients. Now there is a big catch here. The big catch is at the back of the doctor's mind, they have an Excel sheet which says their overall patient is like 4,200, 4,500, 3,500. But many of these patients, some of these patients have come 7 years back, 5 years back, and they haven't come back in last 5 years. If a patient in the same location is not coming back in last 5 years, practically either he is dead in the COVID lockdown, or he have left the city, or he have become very loyal to some another doctor. So you don't know what your strength of your follow-up systems are. Now, second, the point here is it's very important to revive all these patients and be in touch in a positive, non-salesy, non-irritating way. The big mistake in this follow-up systems, what doctors do, if you have a Practo plan or any other patient management software, every 6 months an automated SMS goes whose wordings are, your routine health checkup is due. Would you like to book an appointment with the ABC Dental Clinic or ABC Clinic? Now, this is directly being salesy and pushy. Just like your banker, the bank in which you have your savings account or a current account, they send you an SMS or automated phone call, telesales call. Sir, would you? We have a latest mutual fund insurance scheme. Would you like to buy a mutual fund credit card insurance? How you get irritated with such kind of SMS and salesy approaches? So don't you believe? If you are just sending an automated SMS like this, your routine health checkup is due. Would you like to book an appointment? This being directly salesy and pushy. Just like your banker is giving you a phone call, sir, would you like to book, take my mutual for our insurance? Because that banker is not making his sales target, so he's now being pushy to you. You get irritated. So just opposite to it, I have designed a new follow-up system, which is about a care and positive way of reviving the old patient base. Those patients whom you have lost touch in last 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, you don't know where they are. You don't know if they are living in the same city, if their requirement at this point are there. And what is the positive way? If you simply give a phone call and say, I'm doing a routine health checkup or a health camp, would you like to book an appointment? A patient psychology is, patient today have become very smart and they understand, oh, doctor is giving a phone call because he wants to have something salesy out of it. He wants money, that's why he's giving us a phone call. We don't want that. We want to maintain an ethics and integrity of a doctor, and that doctors are the caring people, doctors are the sitting at the giving end and the care end. So how we are doing this is I've devised a different wordings, which is a care and relationship approach. It is based on simple psychology. If you you have a college friend whom you have lost touch in last 10 years, right? All of a sudden you need to do some you need to get some things done, and you need a favor from that college friend. The right way and the right approach is you give them a phone call and let have a general hi hello courtesy. Let understand him, listen to him, what his problems are, where he is currently located. Is he willing to listen? Is he facing his problems, or is he in the right mood, right thing? And then very softly, very tactfully, very soft way, give a soft suggestion that I need it. And at the same time, you should have some lollipop, some extra return gift for that particular college friend whom you need to you want a favor. Then that tactics work. So this is the same psychology I have used to revive your old patient base 2.5 years. All and that is non-salesy, non-irritating, non-pushy, and shows a real concern and care. And there is some talks and there is some internal things, because these are your old patients. 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 year back, they have come to you. So it's your courtesy that you should show some extra care and relationship to these people who are your bread and butter. That's where the follow-up system A is, which is all about reviving the old patient base. Now there is a follow-up system B, which says care message. The care message have to go on the fourth day to seventh day. The scare message approach will give you the loyalty, repeat business, referrals, and online reviews also. So the entire thing is about you put it in the right timing, right way. So the scare message have to the only thing it will work only because of the timing effect. So at the right timing, you are sending this care message. You have to just copy paste this message and send it on WhatsApp, SMS, email, whatever way you want to do it. And the frequency and the timing have to be in between the within the first week, in between the fourth day to seventh day, not before 3 days, not after 7 days. So in this time frame. Now there is a third follow-up system, which follow-up system C. This is very important. Not a single doctor is thinking about the follow-up system C. Now let's discuss about follow-up system C. Follow-up system C is about inquiries not converted. Now, this is very important follow-up system. Inquiries not converted is a simple concept. Is if you get 5 new inquiries coming from anywhere, just dial, practo, digital, social media, referral, any blah blah blah, anywhere. If you get 5 genuine inquiry asking you, sir, what's your fees and where is your clinic, and I want to come. Out of these 5, actual walk-ins are only 1 or 2, right? So third, fourth, fifth, but you receive on an average 4 to 5 new clean inquiries not converted, right? So third, fourth, and fifth, the numbers as on now, just save their mobile number or their emails. The short form of inquiry is ENQ. The short form of inquiry is ENQ. So ENQ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So whatever inquiries you receive every day, you don't need to remember their names, because they are not converted into your patient as on now. They are just inquiring you about your services. And assuming this is a genuine inquiry, it's a good inquiry. Why these numbers are very just start saving their numbers, their mobile numbers, and their emails as ENQ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you won't get that time. Your receptionist can easily, if you are receiving on a smartphone, you can easily save that number as ENQ inquiry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So ENQ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will be an easily remembering it. Why this is important is, first, assuming that's a good inquiry, these inquiries are coming within your 5 kilometer radius. That's the first most important thing. And secondly, they require specifically your services. So, so every day, if you receive 5 inquiries, actual walk-ins are only 1 or 2, but the third, fourth, fifth numbers are about inquiries not converted. I call them inquiries not converted because these third, fourth, fifth have not converted inside your walk-in patients. The only 1 or 2 out of these 5 have been converted into walk-in patients. So every day, if you simply work on the back-end maths, every day 5 inquiries, actual walk-ins only 1, but the third, fourth, fifth number that you have saved. So you are saving on an average 3 new numbers which are inquiries not converted, which are inside your 5 kilometer radius, and they require your service. Every day 3 new. So if you start doing it from today, 3 inquiries not converted, in the entire 30 days of 1 month, it will be about approximately 80 to 90 inquiries not converted. In the entire year, 1 year of 12 months, it will be approximately 800 to 1100 inquiries not converted. If you simply start saving their numbers and email as a short form ENQ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So why we are doing this? Because first, these inquiries are within 5 kilometer radius and they require your service. Next year, they and their family also will require again your services because they live inside your 5 kilometer radius. And if they are given you an inquiry, that automatically needs that they require your specific medical services, right? So if you start doing this simple practice, saving their mobile numbers as ENQ 1 2 3 4 5 inquiries not converted, every day 3 new inquiries not converted, in 1 month is approximately 80 to 70 80 inquiries not converted. In the entire year, it's 800 to 1100 inquiries not converted. If you start doing this, saving their mobile numbers in short form of ENQ 1 2 3 4 5 from today, the next year, from this particular date, next year, you will have at least 800 to 1000 inquiries not converted, which live within your 5 kilometer radius and they require your specific service just by saving their numbers. So next year, if you have to get 800 new inquiries not converted, 800 people who live within 5 kilometer radius and require your service, how much you need to spend money on marketing next year? So the whole idea of this follow-up system of inquiry not converted is we want to save these numbers so that next year we don't need to spend money on marketing to get those 900 highly distilled leads who live in 5 kilometer radius and require your service. And the only thing you have to do is save their mobile numbers as and when it comes in short form of inquiry ENQ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So please remember, this is follow-up system C. Follow-up system C, why it is important is this inquiry which is not converted today. He have given you a phone call, but they are not converted into walk-in patients. That means, but they, if they are giving you phone call, that means they require this service. And medical, let's say their jaws are paining, they have some problems. So medical, whenever a patient requires a doctor, they need to take a decision within 2 days. 1 or 2 days they have to show to the doctor. So even though this person have not inquiry have not converted into a walk-in patient, next year they or their family would be requiring you, and they live in your 5 kilometer radius. And we have 1 year. The point here is you have 1 year to build that trust and care, because at this point, if a inquiry have given you a phone call but have not converted into walk-in patient, that means he have become a patient to another next door doctor inside the same 5 kilometer locality. So so why we are doing the saving this inquiry not converted is we have a follow-up nurturing system, which is basically positive way how to be in touch, so that you have 1 year to build that trust and connection, so that next time if the same inquiry or their family requires a doctor, instead of their old doctor, if the current doctor they preferably comes to you. Why this inquiry tactics work, why this psychologically, why this idea works is, have you ever been to that hotel restaurant whose food was just okay? You have given him a 3-star rating, it wasn't bad, it wasn't very good. Or you have ordered the burger pizza, it was just okay, mediocre, it wasn't bad, it wasn't good. Now the patient, how they work, if they are just satisfied with a doctor, the patient normally doesn't argue with a doctor, they simply change the doctor. Or if they are just let's say this inquiry not converted, have gone to some another doctor in the same local area, and that competitive doctors in the same local area was had given the patient a mediocre service. Now patient was healed and he was treated well, but the patient, in the patient's eye, have given that competitive doctor in the local area only a 3-star rating. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't very good. Just like a hotel restaurant that you have given him a 3-star rating. Any point of time, you any friend or a connection you got to know about some another hotel restaurant in the same local area, burger pizza shop in the same local area, you simply switch to that new person, because the current one you have given a 3-star, the burger pizza one is what you have given a 3-star rating. Same thing happens with these inquiries not converted, which have currently gone to another competitive doctor in the same local area. So now if any of these patients inquiries not converted who have become gone to another current doctor at this point, but we have 1 year and had given a 3-star rating to that doctor, because that doctor in the local area is equally qualified doctor, but the patient experience is according to the patient is a 3-star rating to that current doctor. So now it's very easy for us, we have 1 year to build that trust and connection, so that next time this inquiry person, next time next year, as and when they or their family requires you, they, instead of going to their current doctor, they preferably comes to you and your clinic. And we have that 1 year to build that trust, connection, positive way, being in touch, and gaining that confidence that why you are better than that another competitive doctor in that same local area, so that next time this inquiry and their family chooses you, right? This is the reason why we want to save these inquiries not converted. This is a very important follow-up system. Please remember the follow-up system A, reviving the old patient base. We are doing so that this year we do not need to spend so much money on the marketing, and we can revive as much from our old patients and their referrals and their family and neighbors. But this follow-up system C, inquiries not converted, we are doing it so that next year we don't need to spend money on the marketing. Because if you start saving that 3 inquiry not converted per day, per month it is like 80 to 90, per year it's like 800 to 1000. So if you start doing it from today, next year in the same date you will have 900 to 1000 highly distilled leads which live in your 5 kilometer radius, and they require your service, your kind of specific medical services. So that's why, and we have 1 year to build that trust, connection, and why you are better than another competitive doctor in the same place. So this is why all these things are detailed discussed in this inquiry not converted. And next year we don't need to spend money unnecessarily, because next year you will have 900 to 1000 highly distilled leads, so you don't need to spend money again on marketing to get that 900 highly qualified lead who live in your 5 kilometer radius and you require a service. And the entire follow-up system is how you are going to be in touch in a positive way, so that without being salesy, pushy, irritating, and just being in a touch in a courteous way, so that you are still a better choice to that inquiry not converted whenever next time they or their family requires you. So that's very much about the follow-up system C, inquiries not converted. It's a very important system because the top 3 systems that are follow-up systems I recommend. First is the reviving the old patient base so as to save the money on marketing on this year. And the second is this inquiries not converted. It's highly important in the care message approach. Follow-up system D. Follow-up system D is very important because follow-up system D is how we are going to be in touch with our entire base, all our old patient, our inquiries not converted, our referral doctors, our referral friends and others, neighbors, how we are going to be in touch in a positive way without being salesy, pushy or irritating. So follow-up system, for this thing, we use small holidays and festivals as a way to be in touch. The small holidays like, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Guru Nanak Jayanti, Ganesh Chaturthi, Raksha Bandhan, Eid. There are 10,000 almost every month in India. Environment Day, almost every month in India, at least once or twice a month, you are in touch. There is some or the other small festival that is coming almost every month in India at least. The problem with the big festivals like, Happy Diwali, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, a doctor receives at least 150 such, Happy New Year, wishing you the same Happy Diwali, Happy New Year, Happy Christmas messages, and he simply copy paste it and send the reply back. And there is no personal connection in these big festivals, because if you are receiving like 150 Happy New Year, Happy Christmas messages and you are replying and thank you, nice talking, you simply do not remember in the entire day when you yourself are so busy in their New Year celebration and the Christmas celebration and the Diwali preparation, who have actually sent you that message. You receive a message, Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, Happy Diwali, and you simply reply, thank you, nice talking, and wishing you the same type thing. But if you focus on these small holidays, Happy Raksha Bandhan, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Environment Day, there is some positive way. If I simply send you a message, Praval Dadesh and Advait publication wishes you a Happy New Year, a Happy Mother's Day, a Happy Environment Day, a Happy Raksha Bandhan, a Happy Guru Nanak Parv. Whether you wish me a written wish me good terms or not, but at least there is a positive way. Every month there is some guy named Praval or Advait publication who wishes me every month, about Happy New Year, Happy Guru Nanak Parv, Happy Eid, Happy Raksha Bandhan, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Environment Day. So at least once a month, I'm coming in your mental pictures and mental radar, that at least some positive way I'm in touch without being salesy and pushy. And the only key, very important thing here is what you have not to do as a doctor. you know when you wish, this holiday and festival follow-up strategy, small holiday and festival strategy, is basically positive way you have to be in touch as a goodwill ambassador. So you have to be a goodwill ambassador and just be in touch once a month to all your entire base, using that small holidays and festivals. Now, what you have not to do as a doctor, what the mistake doctors do: Happy Guru Nanak Parv, 20% off today. Happy Eid, 30% off today. Happy New Year, Christmas. Dentist XYZ wishes you Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, 20% off today. This have not to be done. The entire small holidays and festivals follow-up system is about being in touch in a very positive, non-pushy, non-irritating, non-salesy way, that you really care about your people. You understand that you understand being in touch in a very positive way, and you are a goodwill ambassador to them. You really wishing them a happy Eid and a happy Guru Nanak Parv and a happy vacation. You are not using it as a sale. You are not using it as a salesy approach to sell your service or products, but just as a positive goodwill ambassador, as a positive caring way to be in touch in a positive way. So that is about follow-up system D, which is another very important way if you want to keep in touch. Those who are doctors who are not doing it, start doing it. And this goes to follow this follow-up system D, small holidays, festivals, goes to your entire base. All your old patients, all your inquiries not converted, all your referrals, friends, neighbors, connections, any and everyone. And we use WhatsApp broadcast list in India to save money on the bulk SMS software. So we use different WhatsApp broadcast lists to manage the entire backend. How will you manage it? There's a separate video which is discussed in the course, how you are going to use WhatsApp broadcast list, because broadcast lists have a 250 persons per cap. We do not use WhatsApp group, and why we have to not use WhatsApp group and why we have to use WhatsApp broadcast list, this all is explained in another video inside the course training. As of now, this is follow-up system D, which is really important. Small holidays and festivals to be in touch in a very positive and caring way. Follow-up system E. Now, follow-up system E is the fifth follow-up system, which is basically to develop a referral base. Now, referral base is very important because if you are a doctor in a small town, a small rural area, suburban area, everyone knows each other, and the talks get spread very, very fast. So your main source is basically that word of mouth and the referrals, right? In particularly rural area and suburban area. Also, if you are running a pathology, diagnostic lab, CT scan and things, a major chunk you need to focus on the referral system, which is also the non-medical part. The entire referral system is subdivided into three categories. There are three referral ways, and why this is very important, I'm coming to it. The first referral system is about your friends, neighbors, connections. The first referral system A is about subdivided into medical to medical referrals. So a doctor referring to another your patient, and there you have to internally share the commissions or some or the other kind of favors that is there, return favors you have to take care, right? This very normally happens in the diagnostic pathology CT scan type labs, right? The second subdivided category of the referral system is your friends, neighbors, connections referring you. Here, what doctors do is try to give them bribes and commissions to your neighbors, friends. If you refer me a new patient, I will give you commission. This have not to be done. For one, it is unethical, and secondly, the talks get spread very fast. So what to be done instead is discuss in detail how to get your neighbors, friends, and encourage them without being pushy, irritating. How to encourage them to actually send you some new patients. So this is the referral system subdivided into category B. The referral system subdivided into category C. This is really most important. Patient to patient referral. This is my favorite because every doctor wants more patients referring them, old patients referring them new patients. But the problem really is the practical angle. How many of these doctors, normal doctors, do remember having some kind of Excel sheet or a patient management software? I have some 4,000 or 5,000 overall patient. Great. How many of these 5,000 of those old patients that you have, like 4,000, 5,000 is a very big patient base? How many of these are actually referring you some new patients in last 6 months, right? And the most important of all, is there some encouragement, some thank you notes, some kind of return gift to that old patient who have referred you the new one? So let's say you have an old patient, Father Matthews, and he have referred you Mr. Khan, right? Or George Fernandez. So are you having something as simple as a thank you note or some kind of special courtesy, thankfulness to that old patient, Father Matthews, because he's referring you, he's this old father is referring you new patient, George Fernandez, right? So this is one thing, you as a doctor, if you really want that loyalty, because in today's date, even when you organize a birthday for your kids, there is a concept of return gift. So I might be organizing a birthday for my nephew and my niece or my kid, but if it's a birthday party for the kids, there is a return gift that I have to give to those school kids. So now this is the level which I'm talking about in 2023. So in such an age, if some old patient is referring you a new patient, don't you believe that it's just a courtesy thing to say him a thank you note or something special for that old patient, without being irritating on sales? Now, how it is to be done is very important. First is the timing with a simple thank you. Second, it have to be free. And third, you simply cannot say to the old patient, refer me new patient, I will give you 10, 20. This have not to be done. This is one unethical, and this shows that you as a doctor is not confident about your skills. So what have to be done instead is discuss in detail about this: nurturing your old patients and encouraging them, some kind of positive encouragement to actually so that the old patients refer you the new patients. So this again is a referral system subdivided into categories 3. So entire referral system, follow-up systems, is divided into 3 subcategories: medical to medical referral. B is that neighbors, friends, how to encourage them without being irritating and salesy, and the patient to patient referral, how to encourage them with some thank you notes and the timing effect and what wordings and what not to do. So that is the entire referral system. E, which is a part of the follow-up system, the positive way of being in touch. In the digital section, going elaborately, I have discussed things. First, I've tried to maintain a healthy mix between the digital and word of mouth, because digital is very important. The problem is, if you go in the medical doctor circle, they say digital agencies have fooled me, freelancers have fooled me, or I tried digital, it was a mediocre result, and then I stopped doing it. Right. So the entire digital section, and particularly if you're old doctors, 55, 60 something, they get overwhelmed with all this digital buzz and this digital jargon and that jargon, and they get confused, and then they try half-heartedly here and halfway there, and they get mediocre results, and then eventually they stop doing it. So why this entire thing happens? So the entire digital section starts with the first thing: why doctors are not getting good results out of digital marketing activities, right? So where we discuss things like concepts, like, which is also part of this free sample video, those doctors who are going to discuss it. The idea here is that one of the key reason is doctors do not, in their mental calculations, start with simple thing like, what is my return of investment? So let's say you are spending $500 or 10,000 Indian currency uh, for the digital marketing guy. Fine. And your minimum consultation is 1,000 bucks Indian currency. So because you are spending like 10,000 bucks Indian currency to the digital guy or the agency, the digital is, you as a doctor need to think is, at least you should get 10 to 11 new patients with guarantee 10 to 11 new patients to justify what you are spending on those, to pay that digital guy their fees. Because if your digital market, this I call is the return of investment. So every month you have to pay 10,000 rupees to the digital guy, Indian currency, or $500 to the digital guy. You should actually, as a doctor, as a small clinic, that's a big amount from your monthly budget. If you're running a hospital or a big clinic or a listed company, that you have a lot of money to invest in these kind of marketing is important. But if you're running a small clinic, investing from your pocket money, your money, hard-earned money, this it's a big amount for monthly expenses. So 10,000 rupees, I'm $500 I'm willing to give for the digital, but guarantee me my minimum consultation is Indian currency 1,000 bucks. So guarantee me at least 10 new patients every day, because that is what is going in your pocket. Plus I have to spend money and time to run my clinic and whatever it is. This is what I'm not assuming. I'm just assuming whatever I'm paying you, at least that much is returned to me per month as a guarantee. So that's the first thing that doctors do not think. The second is cost per lead, cost per acquisition. This is another thing that doctors do not think. Also, all these things are discussed in details in the first video. That's where the digital section starts. The second thing doctors do not think is there's a big word about social media going on. Now, the entire social media, let's say, is the patient psychology. What is the patient psychology? Let's say there is a Facebook or a YouTube. Doctors think, I've made a great creative post and posted it on social media, Facebook, or a great video and uploaded it on YouTube. You will get likes and shares. This is half truth. This is half battle one. You will if you're making a really good kind of content, like on videos or Facebook, you might get the likes and shares, but there is no guarantee that it's coming inside your 5 kilometer radius. That's the first point. The second point is the patient psychology. When a patient is surfing on YouTube for his favorite, serials or songs, movies, whatever on YouTube, and all of a sudden a doctor's YouTube video comes in. What to do when there is a pain in your jaw, dentist video, or what to do when you have neck, shoulder, neck, shoulder pains and things, right? Now physiotherapist orthopedic video, right? So all of the patient as on now is in a mood of watching his favorite songs, movies on the YouTube. All of a sudden this video comes in. Why will the patient like to go, leaving his happy experience with this song, movies, what he's going to a doctor's YouTube channel? Why the patient the point is, when the patient actually goes to the doctor's YouTube channel, only and only when they need free information and free content, or a doctor's YouTube Facebook page when they need free stuff. And this is very important thing. Whenever you are planning any kind of digital marketing activities, in your mental calculation, doctors need to understand this psychology of the patient before they plan it. And at the same time, you cannot ignore digital. You cannot blindly copy paste digital, because everyone else, all your patients and all your competitors are getting serious about digital. So this is the first thing, prima facie, that the doctors do not do these kind of mental calculations and brainstorming, and before they spend money, a single penny, on the digital thing. Another thing that I've put in the side, the digital thing, is marketing funnel. Sales marketing funnel is also called the sales funnel, marketing funnel, and also the digital marketing funnel. So there's a separate video on this. These are very popular concepts in the MBA circles, and this is something, another thing you have to keep in your, and the right buyer persona. So what is the right buyer persona? How will they respond to these kind of marketing funnel, digital marketing funnel, and these kind of pros and cons? What will be the patient psychology, cost per lead? And these are the things you have to do before, in your mental calculation, brainstorming, before you spend a single penny out from your pocket for any kind of market. It may be digital marketing, may be newspaper ads, may be any kind of marketing. These are three concepts that you need to first do it before you actually jump in, right? Also, I have discussed about the free softwares that will solve all your graphics needs, and the time management angle. How will a small doctor, a small solopreneur doctor, and one receptionist assistant will manage the time to create those kind of graphics for social media, of Facebook and things? How will they manage time for the YouTube videos and things? What are the free softwares to edit it? At least the basic intermediate level editing, what that can be done using free softwares and free apps. So what are those? I've also made a website list of 150 websites which are as per the Indian medical, which have the free listing, completely free, from the Indian medical related sites like curofy.com, sehat.com. These are all Indian medical sites, and you can actually have a free, they have both the free and paid plan. So you can actually for free put in your and these are 150 in numbers, so you can for free actually put in your details to get that immediate online branding, online visibility, and the SEO effect. So at least you have 150 start places to handle on it. Those of my clients who are actually paying to the digital guys and SEO guys in India, I found them to be available only on 95 or 100 of these sites, 95 of these sites, not the entire 150 of them. And please note, this entire 150 doesn't happen overnightly. It in the span of last 2.5 years of my journey, it gradually kept building, and today, as on now, is 150 plus Indian medical sites where you can put in your free listing to get that SEO effect and the online branding thing. So that's another resource that you have handy. uh, Another important thing that digital have is what are the places where you can get the free website and the free e-commerce sites. So what are those free softwares and apps? Because if you go with for those e-commerce site, and I normally recommend doctors to have an alternate sources of earning to get the cash flow in the key things doctor think is, sell medicines online, and that's a very recommended thing. Or the set or a vet doctor sell vet stuff online. That's a very brilliant idea, and I recommend it. But the problem really comes in, you need to have an e-commerce site to actually sell those, or an e-commerce app to sell those medicines or those vet store kind of products thing. And I normally so what are those free or low budget kind of very affordable pocket money type places where you can actually what are those softwares and apps, what are the places where you can actually find out which is in your everyday pocket money expense, which gives you a monthly thing. Because if you are going to go and create a new app, it takes minimum $500. And the worstest part about this e-commerce and the app thing is e-commerce site and e-commerce app, there is a continuous technical updates that you need to deliver when it's coming an online e-commerce site and app. Because when it comes to e-commerce site and app, there is a continuous money going in and continuous interactive touch points of the of something as serious as money, spam, privacy issues, and such things. And that is where there is a lot of technical handholding at the back end. You need to support them. So it's much better that if you decide to have an e-commerce site, go with these kind of professional e-commerce platforms, like Shopify, Wix, Instamozo, depending upon your requirement and whatever is in your budget. So that is where, and you can pay these e-commerce platforms on a monthly basis, so it's a part of your everyday pocket money expense from your wallet, and very easily affordable to try and experiment for these kind of e-commerce, selling medicine, selling vet products. I also recommend doctors who are gynecologists that they can also try and experiment to sell baby products. So most doctors says, yeah, gynecologist clients says, gynecologists and child doctors both, they can sell baby products, baby toys, diapers and things, and use the same e-commerce platforms to actually have their own store. Because in case they lose, fine, the monthly subscription are in their pocket money expense, so they can actually any point of time they can give it a shot and take a control experiment if you guys choose to be. Most of the vet doctors are already doing selling their vet products. Ayurvedic, homeopathic again can be they are already doing it. If you want to include the OTC and other these kind of products like baby diapers and vet and other kind of things, orthopedic and physiotherapists both can be using that, like collar neck things. They can use these e-commerce sites and apps to actually sell it. I recommended it to my physiotherapist and my personal physiotherapist, and really got serious about it and loved it. So that is another using the same platforms where you can actually have an second source of alternate source of earning to bring the cash flows coming in. So this is all such softwares and free apps, and most important is the right way, right timing, the pros and cons, the secret mantra in each of these things. Like understand the patient psychology, why you're not getting good results about digital. These are things you need to keep in mind, what things you need to brainstorm from the marketing funnel, right buyer, and things like that. These all things are discussed in details in the digital marketing section. There are about 15 videos on this digital thing, all about the free things and the makeover, the secret mantra, pros and cons, and things. So this is all about the detail about contents inside the digital section. Now the big problem, but one key important thing that I have include is this medical line is a word of mouth, mouth to mouth publicity line. So I have to try to maintain a healthy balance between both the digital thing and the mouth to mouth publicity. Also, it's very important since all your patients are on digital social media and things, and your competitors in the local area are getting serious about digital. So you simply cannot ignore digital, and you cannot as a doctor blindly copy paste what is working in digital in some another, say, hotel industry or a e-commerce industry, and put it to sell your dental service or the medical services or other thing related to the digital services, and use digital to blindly copy paste it, right? So you as a doctor need to understand the pros and cons. A very important thing that is a part of the digital section is I have included a video like when to do Google ads, Facebook ads, uh, SEO, what are the pros and cons of all of these medium? Because if you go with a digital circle, a Facebook ad cost one third the cost of the Google ad. So for one simple click, if the Google ad is costing you, say, say $9, then the Facebook ad for that same $9, like if the Google ads is costing about $1 for the simple click, then the Facebook ad for that same click will be costing one third of it, around 30-35 cents. But the problem is, now many doctors, oh wow, this is interesting, but it will not work in the medical doctor line, because a patient psychology, when a patient goes to a doctor when he's in pain, so he have some neck pain and it's unplanned emergency, and at that time he have very less time to take a decision. So at that time, patient is not going to surf on Facebook. They will surf on Google to find out a doctor near me type thing, rather than going to the Facebook and watching your ads. So, and medical emergencies are visiting a doctor is often an unplanned visit. It's a last moment thing, and the patient have only 1 or 2 days to decide on a really fast thing. So that is why. So I've included an entire video about it. But just for you as a doctor, so that you as a doctor are not fooled by other digital guys, or just blindly copy pasting what's working in another industry. You as a doctor knows the pros and cons secret about every of this, including when to use Google ads, when to use Facebook ads, when to use SEO. SEO takes at least 6 months to get you results. So many of the SEO guys says, we can give you the 90 days, but that 90 days is about the improvement. That in 90 days I can show you the improvement. It doesn't guarantee you the result. The result takes at least 6 months, right? So all these things you need to keep in your mental calculations, and you understand the pros and cons, so you can so at least the first thing is, you are not fooled by another digital guy and the trendy. There's so much of buzzwords and the this going on digital, and you are not overwhelmed or fooled by those digital new things that's coming in, the buzzwords and trends. And maybe you can plan the pros and cons as per your thing. Now obviously it's an idea that it becomes more sensible that when you are actually planning any kind of digital thing, the first thing is we try to fix as much as possible using free things that is discussed in this entire course. And then if we still need to have, which is practically possible, is 20 to 25% more in terms of many sales patients, whatever level you are sitting it, using the entire all the modules and all the aspects of the course when you actually implement. And it makes common sense that you first try to fix all the free things that is available on yourself, and then think if you want to still spend unnecessary money, and you are not fooled when it comes to another marketing or digital marketing person who is trying to sell you some new buzzword or some new trend thing which is relevant, and you are like taking a very calculated decision, because in order to run a small clinic, money comes from your own pocket. So whatever spend you need to spend on marketing, you have to take it out from your pocket. So this I've tried to make as much of the free things, all the free things and the pros and cons psychology and every angle in the digital section, which is all elaborately in very much details, all the free softwares and apps that is there, the right way, right timing, right frequency, when to do, what not to do, understanding the other side of the equation, and all the things which is very much in detail in this digital marketing sections, as much of all the things that is free, and that doctors, and that is relevant for the medical services doctor industry. Now there is a very important concept which is more of a theoretical brainstorming, which is called marketing services and offers packages. Now why this is important is because most doctors think is about putting 20% of 30% of, this is what we have not to do. And in order to prepare yourself from the slack season, those slow moving months, the dry season of the months, every practice and every location will have some or the other slack season where the less patients are walking in. So for a dentist in India, it's mostly the summer vacation and the winter vacation. The that is the time when they have less patients walking, which is their slack season or the slow moving months or the dry season as called in the business jargon. So in order to combat that, and also how will you compete in the local area market using the free things and the other MBA jargons. So I have devised 3 new concepts which is really important: uh, cash flow in demand service, backup service, and life jacket service. And using this, the backup service and life jacket service, is the main purpose of this backup service and life jacket service is to prepare yourself from the marketing sales angle, to safeguard yourself in those slack season of the month, those slow moving months, the dry season of the month. And using the same 19 zero cost lead generation strategies, 5 follow-up systems, and the digital thing, we start building the pipeline consciously as and when we get the time. Uh, uh, Very consciously prepare these pipelines for this backup service, life jacket service, so that in the slack season, those slow moving months, the dry season, you as a doctor doesn't need to dip on your savings or credit cards, or as less as possible. So in the Slack, and what is that backup service concept, or what is that life jacket service? And in your particular thing, what will you call it as a call? Which service you will call as a back treatment? Will call as a backup service, and which treatment you will call as a life jacket service in your specific location in your practice, your specialization. So this all is discussed here, and using the same lead generation, 19 lead generation, 5 care based follow up systems, right from early on, in the good season. From the first day itself, we start building consciously as a pipeline as and when we get the things to, so that in the slack season, the slow moving months, in the dry season, when it hits hard, less patients are walking in, you don't need to dip on your savings or credit cards, or on, or if you require say 100 x amount, it's a 10,000 for your, in the slack season, for your monthly thing, for which you have to dip on your savings or credit card, then we backup service, life jacket service, pipeline, the pipeline for it comes as a handy, and you are able to save about 5,000 or 4,000, 6,000 using that backup service, life jacket service, the pipeline that we build, and the start itself. From the marketing and sales angle, you are prepared for that slack season of the month. So that is the main purpose of the backup service and life jacket service. I've also introduced, which is concept called how will you compete in the local area market. So here, a cash flow in demand service is very important. So you as a doctor decide that the concept of cash flow in demand service, what is this? And using the free things, you become, your services becomes much more attractive. And please remember this, this entire concept that I'm telling you, I'm not at all saying, put in a price list. So services, offers, packages, doctor have this mental perception that it's about, designing a price list type of things, which is like, CBC testing, comprehensive blood testing, and this and that. No, I'm talking about be prepared from the worst case scenario, because this entire zero cost was made in the first COVID pandemic when I got serious about it, and it was made inside a 9 module uh, full-fledged course, and it was in the first COVID lockdown pandemic I was able to do it. So that was the worstest thing that happened to for a medical doctor who's a practicing doctor, because two of my doctor clients, their clinic was inside the red zone. So that was like worstest thing. So if the same thing happens again, we are prepared from that list, from the marketing sales angle. Right now, cash flow in demand service is another service where you cash flow in demand services across the entire year. The main focus is in your local area. If you are facing competition, so from the next door competitive doctor inside the same local 5 kilometer radius, how you are going to improve yourself better in terms of treatment. And because the prices have already become competitive, you cannot cut down the prices and provide good care. So what are the special cares? And when it comes to the treatment, 85% of the treatments are also the same. So what are those special things that you can do using free things, so that 15% extra of your personal connection, the personal touch, and your personal favor, like this is discussed in this cash flow in demand service. A simple correlation is when my mother cooks veg paneer, a vegetable paneer, for the dinner, and my sister-in-law cooks the same thing, the tastes are very different. So what is that personal touch? Because 85% of the ingredient of the vegetable is same, 85% of the medical treatment is same. So 15% of that personal touch and the taste is where this 15% thing comes in. And what all free things we can do to have that cash flow in demand service? The entire idea of cash flow in demand service is that in that local area, how can you become comparatively more caring, and using free things, what all things you can do to so that your patient keeps coming back, becomes your repeat patient, referrals and things like that, and become more competitive in that same area as compared to the next door competitive doctor. We also have discussed the concept which is called niche marketing. So what is that niche marketing? With two real life examples. This is very popular MBA jargons, and very often I found it useful. Many of the doctor clinics are nowadays becoming really serious about niche marketing. Another very effective way If you are in the local area and you are competing neck to neck, niche marketing is another angles that you need to explore. Keep in mind and brainstorm from that. Uh, Now there is another thing that I have put in is how to sell the long-term wellness plans. This is a real example that I have quoted. I've changed the name of the doctor, but he had a very ethical and caring way of selling that long-term wellness plans. Like you are a Ayurvedic, homeopathic, you are a vet doctor, you are a gynecologist doctor, and you have a long-term package. So you have made a package, but what you want is a lump sum for that. So you have made up, let's say a gynecologist have made a 9 months or 7 months, pregnancy delivery package kind of thing, entire treatment, during the entire treatment, or the Ayurvedic homeopathic have a 4 month thyroid treatment or diabetic treatment package. Now what they want is the entire 4 months money is coming in one lump sum. So how you are going to approach them? Because mass majority of people will go on a monthly installment basis. Because for a middle class, taking out that lump sum is a very troublesome thing. So, but there are at least 5% or 10% people who can pay in the lump sum and would be willing to, who are rich enough, who are well off enough, who are willing to also. But how to actually go ahead and persuade them to pay in the lump sum in the right ethical caring way? So that is discussed in this service offers packages. Adding the psychological benefits is another very important thing. A lot of examples are given with the real psychological benefit, how to develop that personal connection, personal touch, what to say, what not to say, because doctors cannot be very talkative. And you for the most doctors, it's only the 2-3 minutes extra per patient that you have to spend time. So so what things you can give as a psychological benefit as per the case to case thing. These are things discussed in details. What and how to say what things. So as per the case, you can actually implement it. And these are things which are other than what your medical because your MBBS colleges have are saying it. Because I've 2 years I've actually done one-on-one consulting with the doctors, and then finally find out these are the places where doctors were not even thinking it, and these are the angles that you can actually include because others doctors were. Then another thing is how you are going to another thing that actually is about the tipping point psychology while it comes to raising the price. So you are facing a competition in your local area. This actually happened in the first COVID lockdown pandemic, first COVID pandemic, because most dentists and doctors were actually in the just after the pandemic were cautious about taking their patients, because there were certain restrictions, to keep distance, and the dentists themselves were doctors themselves were getting COVID when they were treating the patients. So they were like cautious about it, and the prices of the services have almost increased because the number of patients they can take very less. So now in order to run the clinic, they have actually entire India, the prices have increased. So now one of the key thing that, or in general, let's say you are a doctor, you are established with 15 years of experience, and now you want to raise the price from existing $10 to say $12 or $15, right? So how you are going to, for the minimum consultation, now how you are going to go, or you want to make it competitive pricing as per the local area, 5 kilometer area, because you are inside the facing some tough competition in the local area. So you are a new doctor, you are an old doctor, whatever. So here you have to keep in mind in the brainstorming, in your mental calculation, about this tipping point psychological theory when it comes to increasing that price in the same 5 kilometer local area. Now all these things, if you remember, I'm not telling you about making a package kind of thing. I'm telling you understand these concepts, keep it in your mental calculation, and this is more of the internal mental calculation and the brainstorming, so that you yourself are prepared in every angle, from the slack season, slow moving months, if you have to compete in the local area, what kind of marketing you have to use, what kind of other competitive doctors are, and all these angles you have done the brainstorming and control experiment, you yourself are clear, and you have to communicate this to your receptionist assistant, and you as a small team is very as a clinic team is very clear about what to do in case of this kind of crisis happen, in case of that kind of thing happens. So this is more detail about marketing services and offers packages. The main important crux is how you are going to the backup service, life jacket service, cash flow in demand service, niche marketing, and how you are going to compete in the local area, and being prepared from the marketing sales angle. uh, in the slow moving months, in the slack season month in the local area, so that you don't need to dip in your credit cards or savings, or need to dip as less as possible on your credit card savings when the conditions become worse, when the less patients are walking in the dry season, slack season of the month. There is an entire section module which I call interactive touch point, which is about a patient's journey from the first interaction, at the entire patient's journey while they are interacting with the doctor and the clinic staff. So this entire what is called nowadays the MBAs have used all these big jargons, customer care journey and customer mapping and all these things. I've used a very simple thing. There are 5 key interactions when a patient simply wants to come to a clinic or a doctor. There are 5 key interactions which happens in this journey. The first interaction is the interactive point one. Touch I call it interactive touch points, because these are the places where you have to actually give 1% extra of that care and some personal touch, because 85% of the treatments are same. What you as a doctor is providing is another next door doctor in the same locality is providing. 85% of the treatments are mostly same. So what differentiate is that one step extra of that care and the personal touch and some kind of personal thing, which is where this interactive touch points becomes very important to develop. That it also becomes very important, interactive touch points, not just for the care. It gives you the care, it gives you the loyalty, it gives you the repeat business, and most important, it also increases you uh, to get those conversions from simple inquiries to actual conversions, and get the repeat business referrals and the loyalty factor. So that's why, and these are all free things that you as a doctor needs to understand. What is that special customer care that you need to build in these 5 interactive touch points, because 85% of the treatments are same. So what is that 15% extra of that personal touch and care is where it is these 5 places where you have to actually do it. So how to do it differently using free things. The first interaction is when you interactive touch point. I call them interactive touch points. These are the places where a patient gives a phone call to a doctor, clinic staff, and they interact with the doctor or the clinic receptionist assistant. There is an interaction, and this till the time the treatment is prescription is written, there are 5 key stages of the interaction. I call them touch points. So it is easy recall. There is an interaction and there is a touch point where you can actually show some extra care, one step extra of care, that you really care about them, right? First interaction touch point, you receive an inquiry from anywhere, blah blah blah, phone call, I want to come to your clinic, and what's your fees. Here there is a ethical sales technique that is used, which increases the conversion, which you as a doctor, if a doctor himself is receiving the phone call for a complete new inquiry, then he can use it, and they can train their receptionist assistant how to actually deal with this first inquiry. Because a normal interactive touch point, first what normally doctors do, oh yes, I'm sitting from timing morning 9 to 12, and my fees is say xyz dollars xyz, and you can come in between either morning 9 to 12 or in the evening 5 to 8, right? This is the normal things done. But here I have used an ethical sales technique for the interactive touch point first, which you need to train your staff. That one step extra of care you yourself have to learn, and this all ethical and care based thing, which build that which increases the conversions directly at this stage itself. Because as of now it's an inquiry phone call, that person is not yet converted into walk-in patients. So he might be, if it's coming from Just Dial, Practo, or internet, that in new inquiry would have shortlisted 2-3 doctors in the same local area, and might be giving you might be actually asking the same questions to another competitive doctor in the same local area. So that's why this first interactive touch point, an ethical sales technique, which is the care based technique, is used, which is very important to increase the conversions. The second interactive touch point is when which the second interactive touch point is where an actual patient is actually have walked in and sitting inside your reception lobby area. So the patient have actually walked in. He's now sitting in your clinic reception lobby area. Now here is the big mistake that doctors do. The key big mistake that doctors do is they try to make their reception lobby area as a hotel check-in experience. Understand the basic nitties, but with all these costly interiors and all the blah 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 thing, which works in the hotel industry, but it will not work inside the medical doctor industry. And here's the reason why. Let's say there is a patient, Mr. Rahim, who just walks in. Okay, he walks in inside a clinic, and his understand the psychology of this patient, Mr. Rahim, when he walks into his doctor's clinic and when he walks in inside the hotel restaurant. When Mr. Rahim is walking inside a clinic setup, most of the medical emergencies, visiting a doctor is often unplanned, and they have to last moment they have to give a phone call because there's a all of a sudden there is a pain that is happening in my jaw. There is a pain that's happening in my neck. I need to visit to the orthopedic or physiotherapist, whatever, or a dentist, right? So all it's often is unplanned. So this Mr. Rahim all of a sudden have to take a half day leave from his office to visit to that to the dentist or the local area, and to his doctor or dentist. All of a sudden, since it's unplanned medical emergency, he's mentally slightly disturbed. What will the thought that will be going at this patient's mind when he's sitting in your reception lobby area? Is this doctor going to canvass me for unnecessary x-rays, treatments, and unnecessary thing? Is he going to treat me really well? Am I going to be solved? How long will this thing take? And at that time, when he's sitting in the reception lobby area in your clinic, on his mobile smartphone, he will be going to YouTube and Google and surfing about, let's say my jaws are paining, and what are the different treatments I need to do, this or that. At the same time, he's like slightly agitated, is in pains. His mentally is disturbed. He's not in a balanced state of or very happy state of mind. Just opposite, this is what happens with Mr. Rahim as a patient psychology when it walks in the clinic. Just opposite, when the patient psychology of same Mr. Rahim is walking in a hotel restaurant. He's going to enjoy the dinner. He's sitting in the reception lobby area for the hotel, waiting for his lunch dinner coming in. He's enjoying the ambience, the light music at the hotel restaurant. He's enjoying the he might be taking out the same smartphone and taking out a selfie and posting it on Facebook and sending it to all your friends. Oh, I'm in this hotel restaurant, this and that. He might be opening some jokes or YouTube videos or some songs or some kind of jokes and watching it in his a happy excited state of mind. But the same when he's walking to the hotel restaurant. But when the so the point in this entire thing is the psychology of the patient, Mr. Rahim, is very, very different when it comes inside your clinic, visits a doctor clinic. And so your reception lobby area have to be not acting as a very costly interior to have at a hotel check-in experience, but it have to act like what, as a chiller. You have to find out some of the other ways, simple ways, so that he's mentally disturbed, like in a mentally disturbed, he's in pains, Mr. Rahim is, and he's like in -10 state of mind. So if we can simply come from the -10 state of mind to of mentally disturbed and in pains to a -7, -6, or a balanced state of mind, that is what your entire sitting in the reception lobby area. What are things which can do simple free things? Some way or other, acting as it as a chiller zone. When my father was operated for a knee replacement, doctors told me that there is a chiller room that they exist, and before they actually shifted to his room. So something like that we want, so that the from the -10 state of mentally disturbed state of mind, this patient is actually coming to -7, -6 before he actually come to the when he's sitting in the reception lobby area. So this is the interactive touch point 2. When the patient is sitting in the reception lobby area, what are small free things that we can do to actually increase that experience of visiting that clinic in a much better way, and reduces his stress and anxiety and things like that. Okay, now interactive touch point 3 is when a patient is sitting one-on-one with the doctor. Now this is very important. All doctors, the interactive touch point 3 starts when the doctor have written the prescription. So once you have done the entire treatment and you are writing that, okay, take this medicine, or dentists have taken the entire treatment, you have taken the fees, and now you are writing that 2-3 prescription, take this medicine and things like that. Once this entire thing is completed, all your medical stuff is completed, you and your patient are sitting in front of both sides of the table. This is the time when in this interactive touch point 3, I recommend doctors to spend 2 or 3 minutes extra, 3 minutes extra per patient. So interactive touch point 3, when you are sitting one-on-one and the entire this medical treatment is over, prescription writing is over, you try to spend 2 or 3 minutes extra per patient to get to know him, to develop that one-on-one personal connection, to listen to him. What a psychiatrist do, basically, to add some special personal touch. And this is very important to build that loyalty, repeat business, online review and referrals. So if you, most doctors, what they do in interactive touchpoint 3 is, okay, fine, I've written the medicine, I've taken the prescription, take these medicines and pills for next 3 days, or I've done the dental treatment, scaling jaw, and fine, this is the thing, pay the fees, and then you do. But here, once you have done the entire dental treatment and written the prescription and things, as a conscious habit, you as a doctor need to spend 2 or 3 minutes extra to develop that personal connection, or finding some common grounds where you can develop that personal connection to get to know that patient. As in banking, there is a KYC, know your customer type jargon. So you need to spend 2 or 3 minutes extra. It should, now very important note is, it should not be more than 2 or 3 minutes extra. Secondly, it have to be personal, so it have not to deal with the medical thing. uh, at this point of time, doctors have to be a good listener. So you just ask what a psychiatrist do. They ask some right questions and they listen. So that's what, for 2 to 3 minutes, you have to ask some kind of small things, common grounds where you can develop some personal connection. See if it is. Doctors have to be acting more as a good listener, because doctors are supposed to be serious, and the patient who have just written the prescription, he is still inside the pain. So he have not yet taken the medicine and things. So he is not very much in the cheerful mood. So you need to understand that, and just become a compassionate listener. Have some 2 or 3 common topics which can actually excite the patient to talk to you. But at the same time, it is a balanced conversation. We don't want that. There is some way we can develop that personal touch, and as a conscious habit, you are spending 2 or 3 minutes extra per patient after you have written all the prescription and completed it. Not more than 3 minutes, because if you are talkative or the patient is very talkative, uh, they will start taking doctors for granted, and doctors valuable time is wasted. And also, this another patient is sitting inside their lobby. So so that's why a thumb rule of 2 to 3 minutes extra per patient works very well. So what things you can say here, what things you can develop that personal connection and things is discussed in this. You can also add psychological benefit and things, which is discussed as per the case to case thing, which is discussed very much in detail in the marketing services and offers packages, which is I'm going to tell later. But at this point, interactive touchpoint T, as of now, just develop a habit, as a conscious habit. Try to spend 2 or 3 minutes extra per patient, not more than 3, and you have to be as a conscious listener, so that you are in control, to avoid patients being very talkative or taking you for granted, and the next patient will be sitting coming in. So just 2 or 3 minutes between two patients practically doable to get that personal connection, some kind of personal touch and personal connection, to get to know about your customer, and as the KYC norms in the banking industry, to get to know about your patient personal levels and build that personal levels. So what all things is discussed in this interactive touchpoint 3. Now there is an interactive touchpoint 4, which is where a patient, once he is treated, he simply walks out from the reception lobby area. That's where we want the patient, if she's a ladies patient, like my mother, she normally keeps her purse, ladies purse, outside in the reception area when she walks in, and the kids outside in the reception area when she walks in with the doctor. So normally this is a time when we want a small interaction with the receptionist, not you as a doctor. So we want them to, on a case-to-case basis. This is another place where you can develop that one step extra of care, when the patient is actually connecting his belongings, like his purse or the kids, from the reception lobby area, and then checking out. So there is another one step extra of care that you can do. So what all things is discussed there. And the interactive touchpoint 5 is basically that next 7 days, if the patient have walked out from your clinic today, the next 7 days is the most important to get loyalty, repeat business, referrals. And here you have to make it a care based approach, which is discussed in the follow-up system C, care messages approach. But the more important thing is, you start making your patient's journey or customer journey in this entire start in your mental calculations. These are the 5 interactions touch points, and these are the places where we can, in my clinic, in my location, I can get that one step extra of care, and these are the things where I need to consciously keep in my mental calculations, how I can improve these things, which will in turn give me loyalty, repeat business, referrals, conversions, online reviews, everything. So this is all about the interactive touchpoint section, which is detailed in discuss in this online course training. There's an entire section on telemedicine and teleconsultation, which is actually divided into four videos, four key videos, which are the four key aspects about what also where you can get the teleconsultation, telemedicine patients. So in 2001, in this COVID pandemic, when I was making redo this course to a nine module, nine and result pack thing, that was the time when in India, the teleconsultation because of the COVID pandemic was legally allowed. Before 2021, 2020, in the first COVID lockdown in India, it became legally allowed. Before that, it was not legally allowed. There were lots of restrictions. So there are four main important things that happens is where the doctor and the clinic can get patients for specifically for the teleconsultation, telemedicine. Now, practically speaking, if you think about it, you have to think back end. The back end is what all services can you actually sell on teleconsultation. What, like for a dentist, a pure treatment oriented, so they cannot need teleconsultation. But psychiatrist, general practitioner, physiotherapist, even a physiotherapist can do a lot of online teleconsultation. Orthopedic can, an eye doctor again can, my ophthalmic clients have said that about 20% of their services they can actually use can be sold on consultation. General practitioner, almost mass majority of them. Ayurvedic, homeopathic, mass majority of them. So the right way of going through this is first you need to ask is what kind of services I can actually in my location area I can sell to the for the teleconsulting tele services. So it might be an eye doctor, you might be a child doctor. Uh, so what all out of this entire things services that you can do, what all things I will need a physical verification for the medical treatment, or what all kind of medical treatment I can sell on teleconsultation. And now you have to go front end, okay, to find out the using the free things, what are things I can actually find out the patient in my local area for that teleconsultation, telemedicine thing. So these all things I discuss in details in this section module. There is a separate section which is about cost cutting and personal finance. I found when I started this thing 2.5 years back in the just after the first COVID lockdown, I found that doctors were repeatedly first COVID pandemic and lockdown was entire crisis scenario for the entire doctor industry across pandemic thing. And I found some doctors, and then I started with one-on-one consulting for about 2 years. And I found that most doctors were doing some repetitive mistakes when it comes to cost cutting and personal finance. And these were very simple things that you can actually use. That doctors were simply not aware about it, or they are not even thought from those angles. Or they simply, because doctors are so much, have to read so much of study related to medical stuff. So they doesn't even know what these are things are. And during the one-on-one consultation, I found these were some repetitive mistakes that doctors were doing and not even thinking from these angles. And these are the places where you can cut the cost of your monthly things and save some money here and there. Because in order to run the clinic, you need to actually shell out money on an ongoing basis, whatever ups and downs from your own pocket. So these were certain things I found, which is discussed in the cost cutting and personal finance section. Certain key mistakes that doctors were doing repetitively when it comes to personal finance, or they were not even thinking about from these angles, or were not even aware about it. Like there are gold mutual funds. So there are doctors in the first COVID pandemic scenario. One of my doctor client was his clinic was inside the red zone. So the clinic was in the COVID pandemic, first pandemic was closed down for 90 days, 3 months. Now this doctor's clinic was in Navi Mumbai area, and in Navi Mumbai there is a 11th month's deposit. The rents and deposits are huge. Now what the mistake this doctor did was he have parked all his emergency savings, all his emergency planning inside mutual fund. And the day the COVID pandemic and lockdown was announced, that very second, the entire stock market started falling down. So whatever mutual fund he have invested in, the NAV of the mutual fund, because the stock market was falling down, so the NAV have also started falling down. Now, If those who are aware and not aware about it, whenever the stock market falls, immediately the prices of gold and silver also increases immediately. So every time there is a stock market falling down by crashing down by 200 points, 300 points, the gold and silver index, the gold and silver prices will start shooting up by another 50, 60, 80 points, right? And this will happen all the time, every time. So if the same doctor, instead of putting in whose clinic was locked in for 3 months inside the red zone of COVID pandemic, if he have parked his same emergency savings, the gold mutual fund or a silver gold coins and silver coins, and put it inside their bank vaults, he would have direct cash flows inside time. And while doing the one-on-one interaction, I found majority of my doctor clients were not even aware that there are gold-based mutual funds also. There are mutual funds who collect public money, and they spend in the gold. They buy gold-related stuff. They rotate it inside gold, just like a normal mutual fund rotated inside the stock markets. These gold mutual funds use the money pool inside the gold thing. And many of the doctor clients, I found, they were not even aware about this, that okay, there is a gold mutual fund also that exists. And forget about how you can prepare from this, learn from this doctor's experience, that parking your emergency funds in as much of the gold silver asset, because whenever the stock market will fell down, your gold and silver prices is going to shoot up. And it's not going to be very high return of investment, but it gives you that security to balance portfolio, the safety and security in the worst case scenario. Your emergency funding, whatever is the 6 months or 3 months emergency savings, that have to be in the cash liquid thing, and that have not to be, ideally should not be parked in the gold things, in the normal mutual fund or anything directly related to stock market, which can be very volatile. The concept is anything that's directly into a mutual fund or stocks, which makes it very volatile for the everyday fluctuations on these kind of crisis scenario. So simply, if you are aware about these concepts and these things, you can plan your personal finances things according to your requirement. And there were certain about 12 to 13 cost cutting techniques I found, which doctors in a small clinic setup can easily implement it. And doctors really, my doctor clients during one-on-one consultation really loved it, liked it, those ideas. So this entire section is cost cutting and personal finance, where we discuss about 12 or 13 of the cost cutting thing, and another many of these personal finance thing, which were the key concepts of gold mutual fund, and what to do and what not to do, proper retirement planning. Those old doctors who are thinking about the retirement thing, how need to do. I found majority of the young doctors who are practicing their clinic, they are not even putting in money on their pension funds. If the same doctor, for example, if you are working for a hospital, you get a fixed paycheck every month because you are a employee of a hospital. Let's say you work for a hospital in the morning hours, in the evening hours you work for your clinic. So if you're working for a hospital, you get a fixed paycheck every month. Out of this fixed salary, uh, your PF, pension funds and retirement funds, are deducted or at the source itself. uh, but if you're running a clinic setup, when you have irregular source of funding, you have taken such a risk, you have invested in those dental chairs and costly interiors and all these things. When you have taken such a thing, then you need to be more cautious about building a retirement fund, maybe a pension fund or NPS or IRS, whatever way you have to. And the thumb rule is, how much is the thumb rule? So I found many of the young doctors who have started a new clinic, who are my clients, they were not even thinking about building a saving every month from the every month from for a healthy retirement funds and PPF and IRS and things. So these are another things that you need to. This was a key mistake I found, that doctors were not even thinking in their things. These kind of small tips are there in the personal finance tip, that you need to build those funds, and then you can continue with whatever bank or things are. But you need to brainstorm in these things angle, that at least you are not doing these kind of mistakes which other doctors are actually doing, right? So as on now, I'm not selling anything related to mutual fund, IRS, and things. I do intend to go with the gold IRA solution, but as on now, I'm not selling anything related to it, because my personal savings are all security and stability loving person. So when uh, um, it will be majorly parked in the gold coins and gold, and I have a bias towards security and stability. So gold, real estate, and everything that's very secure and stable, that's what I really love about everything. So I do accept my bias towards when gold coins and silver coins. This is very easy to actually, whenever you have some extra pocket money, buy the half gram gold coin or silver coin, and that's where you can actually start saving money, pocket money, and rather than wasting here and there. So that was another. That's what I'm personally biased, because I'm redoing everything in my life at the age of 44. So security, stability comes very important to me when it comes to personal finance and cost cutting. So once you are aware about these section, you can plan your cost cutting. Maybe you will like some idea, or at least you are aware about it. Maybe personal finance, are you doing the same mistakes or not? Fine. And the personal finance is hardly the cost cutting is hardly 12 videos, and cost personal finance hardly about another 10 to 12 of such videos. So you can actually continue with your own bankers and relationship managers. I'm not selling you anything, but I'm just letting you aware that these are the things that I found during one-on-one consultations. The doctors were repeating the mistake, not even aware about it, not even thinking from those angles. So at least you can, this will help you avoid, uh, save a lot on your cost cutting and personal finance, and plan it mentally in your mental calculations. In short, there is also another section module which is about time management. So there are certain new techniques that have come in last 10-12 years, uh, which is where I heavily use this Robin Sharma's 100 days 1% improvement. Robin Sharma have also made this time management productivity, which is like 1991 rule. So 1990-91 rule. So that is another thing I recommend. So what are these five, six, seven right techniques that have come in last few years? 2080 principle, 1090 principle, coping mechanism. If you the Pepsi CEO, Pepsi global CEO Indira Nuri, or she used a coping mechanism to handle those pressures and the family and the work related pressure. And she often used in her interviews all this word coping mechanism, which is a very brilliant way